What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to this little mini bonus episode of the Horrible Horror Podcast. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me, filling in for Aaron for this special little mini episode is Chris Samples. He's here. Chris, he's just drinking his beer, so there he is. There's Chris.
Gotta get prepared, Marshall.
We need to get prepared for this one. This little bonus episode came about because it's something I wanted to do with Chris, and I was only going to do it with Chris because we're going to talk about The Houses October Built Part 2.
Yes.
Now, we did the original movie, Houses October Built, about 2 years ago, I guess, at this point.
It was probably 2 years ago. It was right when...
it was our first Halloween. Halloween season.
Aaron was on his honeymoon, and I was filling in pretty regularly, and I was pretty green.
Yeah.
I had only done,
one or two at that point.
Before that.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, so Chris sat in with me, and we did Houses October Built, and for Chris and I, that movie has become one of our iconically bad. Like we hated that movie so much. Yeah. If you haven't listened to that episode, pause this one, go look up in our archives, Houses October Built, listen to that episode, and then come back and play this one. So all right, we'll wait for you to come back.
And if you're a regular listener, you know that I get just
anger. Yeah.
Yes.
His eyes glow, like steam comes out. Like this movie, is his bane. Like
my blood boils.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
I agree. I was the same way. Like this was one of the worst. It was like it had potential to just flush it all down to it.
And getting into that a little bit
so
during our 100th episode when we did the
I can't remember our retrospective or look back. Yeah.
Doug asked. This movie came up, and I got. We had.
Oh, we had quite some beers. We were heavily into
so I was
alcohol at that point.
Blood boiling angry about it. And Doug asked me, he's like, why do you hate this movie so much? And I was like, I couldn't give him an answer. And that's kind of stuck with me. So I was kind of like, well, maybe I didn't give it a proper chance because I was so green at the podcast thing and seeing these movies. And we've seen a lot of shit movies
yes, we have.
Since then. So I was like, well, maybe I didn't give it its proper due. I'm like, okay, so this is an opportunity to watch the second one and kind of give it a fresh look and maybe look back on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, no.
I agree. I'm right there with you, man. I'm in that boat with you. You and me, we're in that rowboat together, man. This movie...
So to kind of answer Doug's question, why I hate this movie? There's nothing original that they were doing. Well,
it's hard. First of all, the second one is hard to even call it a movie. Like, right. I have so many points to make. First of all, before I get into the second one, let's for those of you who don't know or anything, the premise.
Yeah, break it down.
The premise of the first movie is that this group of 5 friends, I think it is, they are
four
seekers. Four dudes and a girl.
And one girl.
They're like these big haunted house fanatics. They go around the country looking for the most extreme haunted houses.
They stay mainly in Texas in the first one, correct?
Yes. Yeah. First one's mainly Texas. And it's done as found footage, which first of all, right there, strike one for me. I hate found footage movies. Fucking hate them all almost. I think I've seen 1 or 2 maybe that did it that I'm like
essentially
okay with.
These douchebags walk around with a GoPro.
Yeah.
And film the haunted houses. They're not even doing anything original for themselves. They're filming other people's
haunted houses,
art, if you will,
exactly,
and calling it their own.
Yeah, and almost the entire movie is like in that damn green night vision stuff too. It's nothing really happens in it. It's fucking awful.
It's like a group of friends. It could be a documentary.
It really is almost more like a documentary you'd see on like Discovery America, on Halloween time, because they used to do those fucking, hey, check out these haunted attractions around the country.
They interview people. They look at other people's haunted houses. There's nothing.
There was a show called like America's Scariest Haunt or something like that, or Greatest Haunts on like Discovery a few years ago. Like that's what that movie was.
Right.
So.
Like
but they're supposed to make this underground.
Right. The only thing they add that's theirs is this blue skeleton.
Yes, which is like this underground group that's supposed to be like super extreme.
Yeah.
Impossible to find, but if you find them, then it's the most extreme thing ever. And they
heard about it. And now
they're trying to track them down.
Out of their way trying to find it. Yeah.
It's boring. It's awful. It's shot. Anyway, so that's the first movie.
And they try to act and they can't act. There's like no script because you can tell they're just like
bantering. It's just
ad-libbing it, winging it on as it goes.
Which the second movie is the same way too. I don't think there's a script at all. It's just like there's
absolutely.
Try to improv.
It was bringing back fucking memories, and my brain started to hurt.
Yeah, so the second one it picks up pretty much exactly where the first one leaves off. So the first one ends with everybody getting buried alive, basically, by these blue skeleton people. They get kidnapped, scared, and buried alive. And then the second one starts with the girl, Brandy, getting dug up, basically getting rescued, as the cops pull up to where she's supposed to be buried, and there's nobody there. And it turns out, obviously it was still a hoax. They basically, the first 30 seconds, first 2 minutes at max of the second movie, basically just took everything from the first movie and said, "Boop, it's shit." Nothing.
Well, it's almost like they picked up right where the first one left off. But the cop pulls up and like this dude's unburying her, but he opens the coffin. She's not even there. She's already in the trunk of a car.
She's already in the trunk of Blue Skeleton's car.
Yeah, okay.
So they came back, undug her, put her in the trunk, and got her out of there before the cop. What I'm saying is like the first one leaves off. If it's been 2 or 3 years since we watched it, but I'm pretty sure they leave it off in a way where they still make it sound like they kind of left you with a little bit. Were they really buried alive and left there, or was it? They don't really answer that question. They leave it up in the air. Like, was it just an extreme scare, or were they actually literally buried alive and were they dead?
Right.
But this one, like in the first 2 minutes, says, "Oh, everything that first one, yep, totally fake hoax. Don't worry about it. Just throw it all down the toilet."
Pretty much.
So basically, it takes place and then it skips like the very next year. Brandy has been like basically traumatized, which rightfully so.
Absolutely.
Anybody she like legit PTSD, serious trauma,
and who could blame her?
And nobody could blame her. I totally agree with that. But then her guy buddy's like, "Nope, let's go do it again."
What happened was the Blue Skeleton videoed her underground.
Yeah.
And they put it on YouTube.
Yeah, she became YouTube famous as Coffin Girl.
Yeah, as Coffin Girl. She got like 24 million hits or whatever they said.
Because everybody thought she was legitimately buried alive and dying.
So now all these other haunts are now trying to hire these people, the other 4 dudes and her, to come to their haunts. They're going to pay them to come to their haunts.
As like basically pseudo shitty web celebrities.
Exactly.
To like review their haunted house.
They review it on social media, and then these guys are going to pay them to get...
Yeah, and that's what so they're touring the country doing this all over the country.
But notoriously, they don't want the other 4 dudes without
Brandy. Yeah, they really want Coffin Girl, so they won't really do it without her.
So it starts out with Bobby and Zach or whatever.
Whoever they
are, yeah. They go to see Brandy to like try to talk her into it, and when she says no, they pretty much like give her shit about it.
These are the shittiest friends.
Yeah,
they're like Brandy's new fucking friends.
Lifelong friends.
They have like no sympathy or empathy at all for Brandy, for everything that she went through.
Money grubbing motherfuckers. They can't make no money without her. And she don't want to do it, which, goddamn, I don't fucking blame her. I got buried alive, motherfucker.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They thought I was dead.
Yes.
And it's which makes it even worse, the fact that it's not like 5 years later we had time to adjust. It's the very next year. Like a year to the day that she was buried alive and like thought she was dead.
And these douchebags are like literally like giving her shit about
it. Like, well, fuck you, Brandy. We need the money. You should do it with us and blah, blah, blah. So they basically peer pressure her into doing it.
Well, what happens is that she says she's not doing it. So they go off. They try to do these haunts on their own.
Yeah.
And they do a couple. But then like when it comes later on, they get messages apparently from these other haunts like, well, if she's not coming, don't even bother showing up.
Exactly.
So then they like pressure into coming, and God, they're just fucking complete assholes about it, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's really they're awful people.
It sucks.
And just like the first one, okay, first of all, this movie is an hour and 40 minutes. It's long.
Yeah,
and I mean, Avengers is longer, but at least that movie's fun, doesn't feel long. This movie is an hour 40 movie and feels like it's fucking 6 hours.
Absolutely.
It drags. And it just like the first one, they spend about 90% of the time on a goddamn RV bickering and arguing.
It's a sweet fucking Winnebago.
It is a sweet RV.
They fucking upgraded that motherfucker.
It is sweet, but still, it's like all we're doing. And again, this
one's
one's
they're talking. And is there a script?
Yeah, I don't think so.
If you're gonna do a fucking movie, can we get a fucking script?
I think
we
they
not just fucking.
My guess is they had
throw
bullet
some
points.
shit together. You know what I mean? Like, but they sound such douchebags.
Oh, total douchebags.
And that they can't act. It's like, oh, well, did you hear about? Oh, did you hear about? It's like he stutters over his fucking words until he thinks about something to say.
Yeah, I swear, I think when right before they filmed a scene, they pretty much just had like talking points.
Right.
Like, okay,
you're gonna
somewhere
you're
in
gonna
this conversation,
and then
somebody needs to say this line, and then that'll take us to this line. But how we get there, it's up to you. Just get there. And I swear that's what all they did.
Yes. And again, it's an entire movie of them pretty much ripping off these haunts.
Yeah.
If these haunts are even real, I would think.
No, the haunts are real.
Yeah.
I do know all the haunted houses they go to in this movie are legit haunted houses in the country somewhere.
Okay.
Now they do go more than just Texas. There's some like
they go
Pennsylvania,
up north, they
Minnesota,
go all the way up to Minnesota, and
Washington.
suddenly they're down in Georgia.
Yeah, it's like
holy fuck.
And they're supposed to be doing this in like 3 days or something. Like it's like how are you going all over the country in an RV in like 3 days?
In the first movie, there was like a time schedule, like we're gonna do all of this in like a week.
It was all like
I don't remember hearing that.
But it was all
time.
like within like a region. It was like Texas and like maybe Louisiana. I think like New Orleans.
The first time, yeah.
But it was all like right there. This is like all over the fucking country.
They went up north to fucking Minnesota,
yeah,
and then went down to Georgia, dude.
Yeah.
From here, which we live in the St. Louis area, to Georgia.
Well, at least 12 hours.
At least.
10 to 12 hours.
16 hours to Florida.
Georgia, yeah.
So, yeah. Dude, Minnesota is up above us.
And it was the Twin Cities. It was Minneapolis, St. Paul area, too, that they were in. Well, and then even some smaller town up north past that, too, they went to.
Right. So,
but
no way they did that shit in 3 days.
No way. Even more so than the first movie, this movie was even more of a documentary because the first one didn't show that much of the haunted houses, but there were some. This movie is like an hour and 20 minutes of just them walking through haunted houses with a GoPro.
Yeah,
that's the entire fucking movie.
Before they got Brandy on board, they went through 3 haunts, and literally it was GoPro, and that was it.
Yep.
And they even busted out the fucking...
Oh, no, they updated with a drone in this
this time.
Yeah, that's the big... Oh, we got a drone
And there was
now.
a good amount of time through this entire movie where they, like, bragging about their fucking drone.
Yeah.
Which, I gotta say, I mean, the drone shots were pretty cool. That was a pretty fucking fancy drone.
Yeah.
Homeboy's driving it or flying it from the RV
while they're
with
going down the
fucking
highway.
iPad hooked to it, and he's just like...
Now, I haven't flown one of those. I haven't used one of those type of drones.
No.
I've flown real drones when I was in the Army. Yeah. But...
nice.
Yeah. No, name drop. No, not real. I do the real shit. But I will say these new... I don't really know, but I don't know if that drone... could keep up with an RV going down the road. I don't know how fast those things go.
Dude was bragging that thing could go up 15,000 feet, or 1,500 feet.
Now I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing the altitude it can go because they're like this little helicopter, blades. But I'm questioning the speed at which it goes because I know, but it's like it's way up high, but they're driving a fucking RV down a road in this little drone they probably bought at like Barnes and Noble or something or fucking.
It looked better than that. It was a pretty substantial. I don't know.
They all look. They all pretty. You know, you can give them a target now. It's keeping up with this RV. I'm just like whatever. But yeah, so we. It's so fucking. No, like I said, hour 40-minute movie. Nothing fucking happens to about an hour 20, hour 25 into the movie.
Well, and instead of this one looking for the blue skeleton, they're looking for Hellbent.
Hellbent, yes. Which is like
they keep seeing things that say seek out Hellbent.
Yes.
Okay.
And Hellbent's supposed to be like the new super extreme underground haunt. I will say there are a few links to the first one because throughout the movie, like they don't.
If you remember in the first one,
they pass like when
anytime the blue skeleton was like looking at them or stalking them, the screen would turn like the blue
filter. Right. Yeah, and they kept that.
And that was throughout the second one.
Yeah,
there was sections where you could see that they were kind
being
of
followed.
Stalked.
Yes. But that's not even. But and beyond that, there's also like graffiti on a wall. It would say like Blue Skeleton was here, and then there's one point where they're standing outside, mingling in the crowd outside of one of the haunts, and they're just kind of passing the camera through the crowd, and it passes over the girl dressed as the porcelain doll girl from the first one.
Still in the haunt. Yeah.
Were they? I thought they were just outside, like mingling with the crowd, but it just passed over. Like she wasn't a focus point. She was just there.
Yeah, she was there. But the one dude who was holding the camera made a comment. He's like, "Wait, what the fuck was that?" You know what I mean? Like he kind of caught it.
I missed that part. But they just glanced over it. So that's the connection from the first one. I just watched this one before, so it's pretty fresh.
But the one where they finally got Brandy to go into a haunt, which she didn't ever want to do. She just wanted to do hay rides and like this zombie 5K, which was another. It's just it was a time suck, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cool. Like those things are fun.
It was fun, yeah.
That was one thing in Georgia,
right? But goddamn, man,
we don't need 20 minutes.
Using somebody else's idea for your fucking movie.
Yeah, 20 minutes on a zombie mud run or whatever. So
when they finally got her into a haunt, there was a spot where like the blue skeleton or whatever came out, and she like went to the manager and like bitched about it, and then she said, "I'm fucking done," and they got all pissy with her about it.
Yeah, and they're like, the mayor's like, "I don't know what that was. That wasn't our guy. It wasn't our guy." She's like, "What do you mean it wasn't?" And then she's freaking. But again, the guys are like, "Brandy, what the fuck's your problem? Why are you so
fucking
upset?
Problem? I got
Why
buried
is she
alive.
upset? She just got attacked by somebody who the manager says isn't their guy, wearing the mask of the people who buried her alive."
And I told you, assholes, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to fucking do this at all. And then like more money. She's like, "We'll give you more money."
Yeah, Zach, Mike, Joe, where the fucking main guy? He's like, "I'll give you more money."
Yeah, and he's the worst. He's the fucking worst. That Zach dude.
Yeah,
he cannot act to save his fucking life, and he is just a
dude
tool.
They're all bad. So they finally get to Hellbent.
Like, what happens before that is that night they all pass out. We got to get up early tomorrow. We're going to Hellbent tomorrow.
Oh, okay, right.
So they all pass out, and then these blue skeleton guys come up and like gas the fucking RV.
Can we mention the fact that they show a shot? Why there's a camera shot of this? I don't know, but they show a camera shot like the camera's stuck to the back of the RV, aiming down, and you see like a blue skeleton guy like hanging underneath the RV, like hanging off the bumper with his head sticking out, like a goddamn Mickey Mouse cartoon
fucking
or something
Rambo
like
style.
What? Who the fuck does that? And how are you even recording that?
That's right.
Like how? What? It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna ride down that. No one's gonna know. They're hanging underneath this RV.
Unless there's a blue skeleton on top. Also, I mean, how the fuck did that camera even get there?
Yeah, and you're right. They like pump like gas into through the skylight of this RV.
To the point where the guy that comes in has a gas mask on.
Yeah.
So what are they pumping in there to make these guys pass the fuck out?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And at this point, they're in Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. So they pump this gas in to make everybody sleep. Next thing you know, they wake up the next day. They're all freaking out because it's 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
They were supposed to get up early
to hit the road
to drive. Yeah. They wake up. They're in North Carolina.
Yep.
At this Hellbent.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So they gas up and they drive their RV.
Did this gas put you the fuck out? But then these skeleton guys drove from Georgia to fucking North Carolina.
Which also means they've been following, like, for guys, like, why are they even following them in the first place? Like, in the first movie...
it's almost like...
Like, in the first movie,
the ones that got away, kind of.
I kind of get that, but at the same time, if that's their deal, like, the first movie... They were looking for Blue Skeleton, which made sense. They could have been like hiding, being like, "You have to find us, but if you do, you get the prize," type thing. You get the big scare.
And now Blue Skeleton.
And this one's like they're tracking them across the country.
Them specifically.
Why? Because they can't be blamed for you outed us on YouTube. No, you put yourself on YouTube to make yourself famous. You're like, why?
But again, it's almost like
that's what you want is people to.
Right.
It's
almost
it makes
like the
zero
ones.
Sense.
What I felt like is it's the ones that got away.
But they didn't get away. They went apparently according to plan.
If we go further into the movie, you actually find out. Did you watch the whole movie?
I watched it. I just don't remember this shit. But
so they get to Hellbent.
They get to Hellbent, and
They go
through, and at first it's just a bunch of people in weird clown costumes again.
Well, they end up getting them all the way into this one room.
Yeah.
They all have to put on these hoodies that zip all the way up.
Yeah.
And then these black lights come on, right?
Yeah.
And then this creepy song plays. It's the Skeletons, which sounds like, God damn it.
It's sort of like there's just a song. Like I think it's just called Blue Skeleton in the credits. The song.
Okay, but it's got the theme. It's got the tune to I can't remember right now. Either way, so the black lights come on, and their hoodies look like skeletons.
Yeah, and the hoodies have ribs painted on. Yeah,
they bum rush everybody, and they essentially chloroform them. Yeah, knock them all out. So when it comes back to, Brandy's the only one that's left.
Yes, she wakes up alone in the room.
She takes off the hoodie, and she starts walking through, and then she comes to the Mikey character first, the guy with the beard. Dumping gasoline on him, right? Yes. Lights go out, and this dude's going back with a torch, like spraying hairspray.
Yes.
Lights Mikey's face on fire.
Yes. Mikey goes poof up in flames. So Mikey is dead.
And she's being kind of drugged by one of the blue skeleton guys.
Is it her or the?
No,
it's not the Dahlia. Yeah, right. It's the blue skeleton guy.
And then it comes up to the I think the Zach character next, and he's getting like his arm cut off with a chainsaw.
Yes.
And then the next room, it's the Bobby guy, and he's essentially getting waterboarded with blood, fake blood or whatever, And
then he gets hit over the head with
in the back of like
a cinder block
or something,
like a giant cinder block.
Right. So we're assuming all three of those are dead.
Yeah, dead.
So then she's taking her down this like catacomb, and she kicks a bottle. So she stumbles. She picks up the bottle, bashes through the head, takes his GoPro, and starts walking. Now she's like trying to find her way.
I know. It's just funny. I got out of. Oh, I'm gonna take a GoPro first.
The only thing I could think is that it had a light on it.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably it. But still,
but who knows? She's trying to find her way through these catacombs, and she stumbles across this open room, and then she sees the fourth dude. I don't remember his name. Like hanging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason or
so she's just randomly like going through, and she finds this other room, and then that's when the porcelain girl comes in.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think okay, yeah.
And then they show her the way out. She runs out, and she's outside. She's running around. She's surrounded by these blue skeleton guys.
Yeah. So she runs out into like this. It's kind of an interesting building that she runs out of. It's kind of, I will say, it's a pretty cool setting.
It looks like an old
military base to me, like some bunker.
Really? I was gonna think like an old mansion that's like.
No, mansions are made out of giant concrete slabs. There is this movie.
Tony Stark had a fucking mansion that was made out of concrete.
There's this movie in the 80s I used to watch as a kid called, I think it was called The Brat Patrol, which is about a bunch of military kids, and they had like this secret clubhouse that was like in this like old underground bunker. It was really cool. Anyway, it kind of reminded me of something like that because it comes out and I don't know, it's kind of this neat setting. Right. Anyway, Brandy's in this like little grassy patch, and all these blue skeleton people come up around her. She's freaking out, and I think she pulls out a gun, I believe.
They bring out this child's coffin.
Yes, yeah, like a baby, like a legit baby coffin.
Yeah. And then she opens it, and it's a gun.
Yeah,
and she's like. She's pointing it at everybody.
Yeah.
She doesn't have her finger on the trigger at all.
No, she doesn't.
And she turns around, she puts it in her mouth, and blows her head off.
Well, no,
and then stop, and then it goes back.
No, don't they?
It goes back. It does that, and then it goes back.
I thought that we got the reveal first, and then it goes back, and then we get even more reveal.
No.
They don't take the masks off first?
Okay, maybe they do.
Maybe they take
the masks off. Yes, maybe they do take. Maybe you're gonna be right.
Yeah, they take the masks she's pointing the gun to Blue Skeleton. They rip off and it's her douchebag friends in the Blue Skeleton mask.
Yes,
and they're like, whoa, it's just joking, cool, don't do it. And then she shoots herself in the head.
And then we go back. Yes, the porcelain girl.
No, we go back. Yes, where she. Yeah, okay, you probably see more reasons, but
we go back to the porcelain girl, and she takes her into a room and shows her a video.
Yes,
and the video is that in the first one,
it's what really happened.
The guys were not really buried; they were just in a coffin.
Yes,
but she was buried.
Yes,
and then it comes out that essentially Blue Skeleton got with the guys and wanted to pay them, or It's almost like they're coming up with a plan. All right, you're gonna do this.
See, this part I missed. I missed this connection with the guys in the blue skeleton. I totally missed that part. I know
it's like the 4 guys making up a plan for Hellbound. Okay,
Hellbent,
or Hellbent, whatever. All right, you're gonna burn, and then I'm gonna get the waterboarding blood.
Yeah,
and then this, that, and the other. Essentially, setting her up to get freaked out.
Yeah, totally, that I remember. Yes,
right. And then it shows a whole thing of like him making this prosthetic head.
Yeah, and the fake arm. Yeah,
and the fake arm. Yeah. So essentially, they're setting. It looks like they're setting her up.
Exactly.
So she's like pissed off. She's like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? So then the porcelain girl takes her over to the little baby coffin.
Baby coffin, yes.
And like whispers something in her ear, and in the coffin is a gun and a blood pack.
Yeah, squib.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? All right.
Yeah, it's a well, it's still a blood pack, but it's a squib. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it goes back to the grassy area where she like blows her up, and they're all freaked out.
Yeah.
And she sits up and she's like,
she's like,
"Fuck you guys."
Yeah, basically.
Fuck you guys. I'm never talking to you again. And then they're trying to explain that's not what it was supposed to do. The coffin's supposed to be full of money. Like they promised us all this money. Like you were gonna get paid, and we're all gonna get paid, and it was gonna be this thing. You know what I mean? So essentially, they kind of sold her out to get money. And she's like, "You know what? Fuck you."
Yeah. And again, we get like the drone aerial shot, like the drone goes up, and you see them on this grass here, and then like on the building, like staying on the top of the build of this like concrete bunker behind all them, looking over them, is a guy in a blue skeleton mask, just standing there. So yeah, and then that's how it fucking ends. It
actually ends with one of the old gas stations or whatever they drove by. On the way said seek out Hellbent.
Yeah.
So the guy starts moving the letters,
and it spells blue skeleton.
And then you see the Winnebago come by, and when it's done, it's like it says
blue skeleton,
the blue skeleton or whatever. So that was I like that kind of play on words, but ultimately, this fucking why I hate these movies. I hate found footage.
I do too.
Fucking
100% agree. Hate found footage.
I hate the fact that there's no real original idea here. They're going to haunted houses. They're fucking recording other people's shit.
It's
calling it their own.
This is the laziest filmmaking I've ever seen. It's like, let's just go film other people's shit and call it a movie.
And even when you did get to your original idea, which was essentially the Hellbent thing, it still fucking sucked.
Yeah, I can kind of understand why the haunted house attractions in the movie agreed to it, because it's free publicity and promotion for them. I totally get that.
Absolutely.
I'd go, that one's kind of cool. I'd see that. That'd be neat.
But do you think any one of those people watched that movie and were like, "Oh, that was a good,"
that
portrayed our product in a good light? No,
I don't know. But it's just the whole premise. It's awful. The ending. It just fucking. It's so infuriating.
It didn't even really.
And it's like, who's driving the RV? Is it all them driving it back, or is it Blue Skeleton driving the RV now? What's going on? Why?
Probably all of them driving back, all fucking pouty.
Yeah, pouty and sitting in
silence.
The end
of the first one was better than the end of the second one.
And that's what I was about to say. Like, we both agreed that we hated the first one so much, but after seeing the second one, the first one was so much better.
Right.
And it still sucks.
Yeah.
But it was so much better than this piece of garbage they flung out there.
Yeah.
Like, what the shit, man?
The only reason I'm glad that you asshole, I say that with all the love,
yes,
for making me watch this movie, was that I now remember why I hated the first one, and I can give an answer to the people and to Doug of why I hate these fucking movies.
Yeah,
so much.
It's
so
awful.
Much.
It's so.
Bobby Rowe. Just stop.
Yeah, he's the writer, director, and he acted in the movie. Yeah.
Please just stop.
Yeah, please don't
Him
make a third one.
Him and the Zach dude wrote this movie, this piece of shit.
Writing. Again, it's a joke because I don't think there's any script dialogue written.
No.
And
what did you
why
write?
would you write, you guys, like, if this is you supposed to be representing yourself, you guys come off as assholes, because why the fuck would any person who says is a friend do that to Brandy? That is the shittiest shit. Like, Brandy, good on her for getting kind of a little bit of revenge on them at the end, but man, Brandy should never ever talk to them again.
But then she immediately I don't know, man. She
doesn't really forgive them. I mean, she
shoots herself in the head.
Yeah, and they all rush. I'm like, oh my god, and she fakes.
And then she immediately sits up and just pouts.
Not immediately. Probably until she ran out, couldn't hold her breath anymore.
Right.
But then she sits up and she's like, yeah, fuck you. And I get that, but she's like,
right.
What else are you gonna do? She's like, either pout or just sit there like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Or storm off or something.
How about pistol whip all 4 of them?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just gonna sit there and pout.
Yeah, just kick him in the
fucking
nuts.
Get up and hit. Yeah, dude, do something.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't understand, how. Like, I don't understand the meld. Like, when did Blue Skeleton and the Asshole Crew become buddy? But when did they start collaborating together? Because you never.
Yeah, well, that was it was funny because
you never really see
so
when that
at the very
happens.
end, you get the drone shot.
Yeah.
You get the pullback.
Yeah.
And then it goes to YouTube, and you see the count going up.
Going up and up and up and up. Yeah.
On the links.
Yeah,
you know
and the
it
YouTube.
It's called Coffin Girl 2 Part 2.
Yeah, and you see it's the drone shot of the ground.
So the whole point of Blue Skeleton was to get more hits on views, YouTube and shit like that. I guess I just wish somewhere in that
when that reveal of when they're doing the. When the porcelain girl is showing Brandy the footage, there would have been something added in there that we didn't see of the crew talking with Blue Skeleton, saying, "Hey, this is the deal, right? This is what we're working out." Because they don't really do that. They show the guys getting out of the coffin. Yeah,
it was real grainy.
They show them getting out of the coffin at the end of the first movie. Ha 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 ha. And then it just goes right into, like you said, okay, in this room, Mikey's going to get his head blown, in fire. In this room, I'm getting my arm cut off.
The only thing we can assume is
the
fact that they were in coffins and not in the ground, that the Blue Skeleton guys were probably there somehow. I don't know.
But then that makes you think, were they in cahoots with Blue Coffin all the way back to the first movie? When did they become the cahoots?
I would think that they had gotten cahoots at the end of the first movie.
Or were they really trying to just fuck Brandy over some more?
They spent the whole year planning what they were gonna do.
But I don't know. Because now I'm thinking at the end of the first one, where they was Brandy just their whipping bitch and was like, you know what, we're gonna go through all this just to terrorize Brandy originally. Because we're not going to get buried, but she's going to get buried alive, and we're going to pop out the coffins. So was all that just an elaborate hoax just to fuck with Brandy again? And now they're doing it a second time?
I would have to watch it again.
And we're not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either. All right, guys.
Did you do any research on this as far as...
A little bit. Now, I don't have internet right now for where we're recording, so I can't look up, but I believe the budget for this was... I think $15,000 for this one.
I was just curious as to if they did any type of. Did they actually foot this money themselves, or was this some sort of a GoFundMe? Was there,
I don't know.
Interest.
That I don't know.
Who's asking for a sequel?
I guess just
him.
Bob Bryant, whoever the guy's name was.
All right, Bobby
Rowe.
Bobby Rowe.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, I guess he did it.
Stop. And if you have any questions, my number is...
and surprisingly, there were a lot of fucking 5-star reviews for this one. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so good, it's so great, it's even better." But the funny thing is, I went and read the 1 stars. Yeah. I was like, "This movie fucking sucks. It's worse than the first one."
I guess if you're a fan of found footage type thing,
even if you're a fan of found footage, don't watch this one.
No,
this is awful.
I was slightly interested when they got to Hellbent. Because remember, the dude had this fucking massive chainsaw. Yeah, it was like jawbridge.
It was 8 feet long blade or something. It was huge.
I was like, all right, well, here we go. Let's see what happens here. And then I was like, when the other dude started kind of dying, I was like, oh, all right, we're gonna wrap this up. Fucking awesome.
Yeah. Because let's not even talk about this. The movie opens at the very beginning. It talks. There's a local news report, right? And he's like, oh, and the events of this, and he's like, they're doing a whole news story on the events, and they say, and just a year later, they did it again, but this time with, it was bloody and deadly results. So it sounded like, oh my god, they're actually gonna die this time. So when you see that, you think, they're actually gonna die. I'm like, I would have been aboard. They're like, all right, cool, whatever, awesome.
Had that shit really happened and not come out to be fake, I'd have been like,
so then
this is cool.
I remember thinking that to myself after the movie ended, I was like, I thought about that news report. So I'm like, you You fucking douchey newscaster, you liar. Where the fuck is the bloody, deadly results? There's no bloody, deadly results.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I watched the first 40 minutes last night and passed out on the couch. I had to watch the last hour.
Dude, I don't blame you, man.
Hour and 40 fucking minutes.
Like I said, an hour 20 minutes of basically a documentary of them going to haunted houses. So I kept watching. I kept thinking, I'm going to fast forward this. I'm going to fast forward. Nope, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. My dumbass watched the whole fucking thing.
I know.
Oh, anyway, all right. This was going to be a mini episode. We just had a rant about this fucking movie because it's goddamn awful.
I hate you, Marshall, but I also love you.
But you know, fucking know if they ever make a third one, Chris, we're gonna be right back sitting here.
Damn it, Bobby Rose, stop.
I know. I don't want to be that cruel because I know people. They're making something they love and they believe in. But
true,
man, I hope they don't make a third. I really hope.
Man.
Move on. Move on to something else.
Because I think it's got potential to be a pretty good horror director, honestly,
or at least the film.
I mean,
just actually write a script and do something. Just don't
try
do
that,
this.
man.
So if you are, like I said, if you're a fan of found footage movies, don't watch this one. Find something else. I hate almost all found footage, but there's definitely better ones than this.
Blair Witch.
Yeah, the original Blair Witch that started it all with the found footage shit. Honestly, I think it just goes out saying unanimous decision this week. Both of us saying So Bad It's Scary. Do not watch this movie. Save yourself the time and the heartache. And,
I don't think you had to ask.
Just fucking.
But I feel justified because I found my answer for Doug.
There you go. The one good thing about this movie is it makes the first one actually look somewhat decent.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a stretch. But all right, guys, that's it for this mini episode. Thanks for listening. We'll be back. We'll be back later with a full-length episode, regular episode. Hopefully when Aaron gets back from Iceland. So thanks for listening. And until then, in the meantime, watch more horror movies and remember to always keep it tight.
Peace.